जय जय राम श्री राम, जय राम 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 जय जय राम ओम श्री राम, जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम, जय राम जय जय राम ओम 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 श्री राम, जय राम जय जय राम।
ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, 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 ओम Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Shri 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 Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram
जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम 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 ओम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम 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 श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai 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 Jai Ram, Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Pranam, pranam.
Pranam, Swamiji.
Pranam, pranam, pranam.
Hari Om, Swamiji.
Hari Om, Hari Om. Yesterday we were making a reference about the outpourings on the cave, remember? Though we took up the in-depth study of Inquest of God as a part of our sannyas centenary programs, somehow Papa did not make us to concentrate on this aspect. Yesterday he brought it to our notice that we have been so far concentrating upon the 37 chapters, and from the 37 chapters, what are the clues that will help us in our daily life to make our lives stress-free and serene, you know. It's a journey from stress to serenity, you know. Because starting with stress, ending with serenity. Especially when we are all exposed to so many of the trying moments at every stage of our life, probably every period of our life. every year, every month, every week, even every day. 99.99999 degrees we try to deal with from me and mine level, our sense of individuality level. And at times we are blessed with joyful moments, at times with sorrowful moments. Sometimes we say we have gained, sometimes we feel we have lost. Something that is very irritating, frustrating, dispiriting, then we say it is elevating. Like that, no, the pendulum keeps on going, this and that. So, Papa had put everything in writing so that it can serve as a manual. And whenever we are confronted with such situations, immediately we can ask ourselves how Papa would have dealt with it. That is how we try to slowly imbibe, whatever teachings he has made. That is what we are trying for the past 8 months now. And he has been blessing us with new insights, that which are between the lines, not merely through the lines, in between. All those things are okay, but somehow he made us to skip this. But yesterday evening he brought this to our notice. And we were trying, instead of our interpreting, whether Papa has made any mention about these outpourings. He says, he used to think of God, pray to Him, bow to Him, surrender to Him. This is a very, very, very important aspect, He found that he had gained peace and the mind had disappeared. He felt exultant over it. But again the mind came up and the battle started to put the fellow down. The mind came up, the battle started to put the fellow down. Ramdas then intensely thought of God's attributes, and again there was relief from the clutches of the mind. Joy welled up in his heart, and he felt that the struggle had ended. In 2 or 3 days, the fellow was up again. Ramdas again prayed to God. He used to get frantic. You will find the outpourings of his heart in those utterances. That kind of struggle is perhaps common to all spiritual aspirants at one stage or another. In spite of his surrendering so much to God, this was taking place. He asked God, why do you still allow these things to be in the mind? He replied, why do you think them to be different from me? Identify all things with me, and then they will change their faces. Destruction is not possible. Transform them. Then Ramdas said, you are this, you are that, you are everything. Then those things as such disappeared. A new joy arose in the heart. Everything in Ramdas was completely transformed. Here also he gives us a wonderful clue, probably very difficult to understand by superficial reading. We will again read. He used to think of God, pray to Him, bow to Him, surrender to Him. he found that he had gained peace and the mind had disappeared. He felt exultant over it, but again the mind came up and the battle started to put the fellow down. Ramdas then intensely thought of God's attributes, and again there was relief from the clutches of the mind. Joy welled up in his heart. He felt that the struggle had ended. In 2 or 3 days, the fellow was up again. Ramdas again prayed to God. He used to get frantic. You will find the outpourings of his heart in those utterances. That kind of struggle is perhaps common to all aspirants at one stage or other. In spite of his surrendering so much to God, this was taking place. He asked God, why do you still allow these things to be in the mind? He replied, why do you think them to be different from me? Identify all things with me, then they will change their faces. Destruction is not possible. Transform them. Then Ramdas said, you are this, you are that, you are everything, you are everything. Then those things as such disappeared. A new joy arose in the heart. Everything in Ramdas was completely transformed. Let us all try to go a little more deeper into this, because most of us or many of us are facing the same problem. You know? We are clear about everything, clear about the goal to be achieved, clear about the methodology to be employed, and there is a inner aspiration to do it. To many of us do in our own way, but still the struggle is still there. We have been trying to bring it under the category of me and mine. Papa puts it bluntly here. And not merely putting the problem, he has also placed before us how he was able to get over, or how God made him to get over. So what does it mean? Everybody can join. This is a very, very, very important point. IQG in-depth study, if it can answer this problem to us in any way that we can understand, then we have really achieved the purpose of going through it again and again and again. The words of Papa are clear to everybody. Hari Om.
Yes, Swami.
What does it mean? In a language in which we can understand, no?
Swamiji, how do we convert or transform attributes like krodha, like your anger, a very basic human instinct? How do we attribute something like that to Ram, to the fact that that is also him, that is also one of his expressions? I think.
First of all, we should, if we accept that everything happens only by his will, the so-called down-pulling negative tendencies are also brought out by him. So not only anger, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, no? Normally we term it as the Shadribhus. They are also given to us by him. But so long as we don't identify it with him, means what? Oh, he has given. When you are running an organization, in order to ensure that the ideal is not compromised, there may be moments when we have to pretend at least or put up anger. Then we try to understand that anger is not for selfish, not for self-assertion, not for selfish purpose, not to arrogate, not to assert, but for, so this has been given to us. Every so-called down-pulling force, we have named it as down-pulling force because we are not associated with him. He said it will change its face. As such, then those things as such disappeared. You have to keep on. The moment is, why do you give me this anger? Where from this anger has come? Suppose any other down, we have named it as down pulling. Immediately we try, because of our various sadhanas, just because we hear this, we may not be able to transform it. But we can surely transform it when it is coupled with the outcome of our efforts so far done. What is the efforts? Efforts to bring in the God dimension. He alone is, nothing else exists without. So even a so-called, it is just like this, anything has got a positive and negative, in our language, positive and negative. Today's food is very nice, tomorrow it becomes spoiled. A sweet is very nice to eat, but excessive sweet causes so many derailments. Spices are okay, but when it exceeds its limit, the same thing can become injurious to our health. Just think about it. It applies to thoughts also. So this is inherent. I try to accept that this is inherent in God. This is inherent in me. But when I try to, oh, you have given. I don't know what purpose, for what purpose you have given. When this dialogue takes place, its face gets changed. When we forget, it assumes the role of an asura, it catches hold of us. All these attributes. Various, now you just imagine a desire in somebody's mind, which we call it as creativity, not dull. It expresses. When it expresses outside in the form of creativity, it is instrumental in answering many people's problems indirectly. A series of economic activity takes place. Desire as such is not bad. Desire, when it becomes self-centered, only to me, it becomes bad. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha. When we should be planning, it is not miserliness. It should be, when we take 100 rupees, when we buy, when we earn, 90 rupees we spend, 10 rupees we keep it for rainy days, otherwise we will have to trouble others, Only to avoid troubling others or burdening others, you are, so this like that, each and everything when you analyze, the so-called Shadribhus lose their face as we have given. They are all needed. Matsarya, competing. Competing not with the sense that I should win. But the competing nature unearths or brings out that potentialities lying dormant in me, which will be useful for the entire society. Whatever creature comforts we are enjoying, many of them have come because of this. We all know, for example, when 15 years back or 20 years back, if we have to apply for one telephone connection, we have to wait for 8 years, 10 years. But when we allowed the competition on that, the things got changed. Now everybody has mobile in their pocket. So nothing is bad. Mobile is not bad. Google Baba is not bad. But when we use it for a different purpose, it becomes disastrous. So Papa, that is why he says, he places before us through the outpourings the influence of these so-called labeled tendencies, and then when he cried, he got the answer. I think the more we think about it, this is the quintessence of how do we move from stress to serenity, Stress to serenity can be had only when those factors which make us to feel that we are stressed, when we change our approach, it changes its face. Not that the incident or the situation changes. Our approach to it gets changed. Think about it. Whatever we have learned from these 37 chapters, if we chronologically put, becoming positive, not reacting to situations provocatively, like that, one by one, chapter by chapter, when we keep on going through it, now we will find the essence is, every time when we associate with, oh, you have given, why do you give me? Suppose I have forgotten, I can take him into task. I forgot about you, and because of that, so many chaos had taken place. That is why he says, identify all things with me, then they will change their faces. Destruction is not possible. Transform them. As long as we have got a sense of individuality, the mind will continue to be there. Destruction is not possible. Body, mind, intellect, equipment, that BMI equipment is the platform for the sense of individuality. So it cannot be wiped out. But the same mind can be made passive, sattvic, receptive to the godly goodness. Being positive means we are seeing the positive side of the same incident. Think about it. We may be able to dig out more. Again, I will read those words. Papa says he used to think of God, pray to Him, bow to Him, surrender to Him. He found that he had gained peace. When we are, suppose we are in ashram, many people say, on a lighter vein, Puja Swamiji used to say that, Papa used to say, when devotees come and then when they take leave of him, they used to say, Papa, so long as we are within this compound, we are in a blissful state. The moment we go out to the gate, back to our problems, anxieties, cares, insecurity, so many things come and catch hold of us. So Papa in a letter when said, there is a banyan tree outside, just near our gate. So when you come here, until such time you are thinking about it. But the moment you enter ashram, you keep all these prarabdha, all these carrying over baggage in that, mentally you deposit it at the banyan tree and you enter so that you are free. When you go back, unknowingly also you are religiously taking back the bag which you have kept. That means even the contents of the bag, like, we have named it as so many things, likes and dislikes, rights and wrongs, preferences, priorities, feeling of insecurity, preconceived notions, anxieties, so many things happen. So all these things, suppose we start attributing to him during our stay here. That is the purpose of this stay. The purpose of this stay is to go deeper into this and to find that everything is God's. Initially it may be very difficult. But by coming and trying, we may be able to slowly get the grip. That's what Papa here says. And we may feel, when we are here, we feel we are peaceful. No? He found that he had gained peace, the mind had disappeared. He felt exultant over it. But again the mind came up. And the battle started to put the fellow down. Those are the words in the outpourings. Ramdas then intensely thought of God's attributes, and again there was relief from the clutches of the mind. Joy welled up in his heart. He felt that the struggle had ended. In 2 or 3 days, the fellow was up again. Ramdas again prayed to God. He used to get frantic. You will find the outpourings of his heart in those utterances. That kind of struggle is perhaps common to all spiritual aspirants at one stage or other. That means 99% we have, still 1%, a residue. Even during the stay here, we all know ourselves, no? To be very frank. Unknowingly, many of us are islands by ourselves. We have our fixed notions, fixed rights and wrongs. We don't compromise. Though we have been hearing all these things, we are taking part in all programs. So the struggle is still there. The me and mine has gathered all these things for years together, and it is becoming stronger and stronger. So that's why here Papa says, Ramdas again prayed. He used to get frantic. You will find the outpourings of his heart in those utterances. That kind of struggle is perhaps common to all spiritual aspirants at one stage or other. In spite of his surrendering so much to God, compare ourselves with him. According to us, 100% he has surrendered, no?
Swamiji, as far as we are concerned, we are only having moments of peace.
It is the other way, no?
Where Papa, the other way. We are just having just a glimpse or a moments of peace, that's all. Because we have never surrendered. Correct.
So now he gives us a clue. In his case, the struggle comes rarely, no? And then he gets over it. In our case, the peace or serenity comes rarely. And if at all it comes, it stays only for a short while. But now, today, he makes us to remind us, you will continue to be like this in this state if you don't try to go to the source of the so-called labeled down-pulling forces, which has kept us as a prisoner, no? We want to get out, we are unable to get out. Immediately we react, From the me and mine article, we react. We create chaos not only to ourselves, to others also. As Jimyandaji used to say in one of his lectures, not only you become miserable, you distribute miseries in and around you. Religiously, you do. That's what he used to say that. When I become happy, the radiation, everybody feel happy, a smiling face. But a Suppose I become angry, my mood is angry, in an angry mood, my face is in angry mood. You see, something is wrong with Muktananda, you know. We will talk to him later. He is not in a good mood. See, it happens. We have to do a lot of thinking on these words. He asked God, why do you still allow these things to be in the mind? In spite of self-denial, in spite of God remembrance, constant God remembrance, in spite of trying to transform every negative to positive, in spite of the fact that all the situations, all objects, all individuals are all try to be seen as the manifestation of the one indwelling reality. So this way he asked, why do you still allow these things in the mind? Then intuitively he gets the reply. For the sake of all of us, he has given. Why do you think them to be different from me? Mataji, in her sadhana days, she was closely watching Papa. One day when Papa showed anger, she was happy. Because she says, everything should be there. Even in Quest of God, there is a poem, no? Even in Guru's grace, she has brought it out. You remember? You are this, you are that, equally. Where is sweetness? It is in thee. This is in Quest of God. Where is bitterness? It is in thee. Where is happiness? It is in thee. Where is misery? It is in thee. Where is light? It is in thee. Where is darkness? It is in thee. Where is love? It is in thee. Where is hate? It is in thee. Where is heat? It is in thee. Where is good? It is in thee. Where is evil? It is in thee. Where is truth? It is in thee. Where is untruth? It is in thee. Where is wisdom? It is in thee. Where is ignorance? It is in thee. Where is heaven? It is in thee. Where is hell? It is in thee. Where is God? It is in thee. Where is illusion? It is in thee. Om Shri Ram. That means we do not find any other source other than God, no?
Swamiji,
Huh?
in Guru's grace, Mataji has mentioned all opposites.
Yeah, opposites.
All dvandvas.
We read it, that's all. No? We have not applied our mind. How can it be opposites? No? How can it exist, coexist? Our intellect will never allow us to say yes, because it is something we have learned that they don't coexist. By nature, how can it coexist? Truth and untruth. So it is not through the intellectual approach that we can understand this. But it is from the practical approach we can understand this. The experience of sweetness of the fruit, it is there. But suppose the moment you put it, you say, something is wrong with this. Old, it has become, is it not? Don't you feel that? When it gets spoiled, the same type of fruit, immediately your reaction is different. You spit it out. That means we cannot understand it through intellect, but through the very experience, we can understand that whatever we have read, it's slowly coming true. Our intellect, we try to understand it through our intellect. We will never be able to have the correct understanding through the intellect. This is beyond the reach of him. When Papa said, eat without taste.
Eat without tasting. Taste.
Eat without tasting, listen without hearing, see without looking. What does it mean? Look without seeing. What does it mean? Have we applied? When the mind ceases to be, then you realize you are the Atman. Look without seeing, hear without listening, eat without tasting. That is the thing you have to attain. Intellect cannot understand. These are all the outcome of spiritual journey. Similarly, this particular one, when the aspirant has sufficiently equipped with whatever is to be stored with the help of intellect, there comes a stage when it cannot help at all. Then intense prayer. What is prayer? Papa defines prayer. Prayer is a sincere outpouring of the heart. It is always offered to the Almighty seated within our heart. He is, as you understand it, both inside and outside us. The highest form of prayer is to constantly dwell in the divine consciousness, which is brought about by a ceaseless remembrance of Him. By such remembrance alone do we draw the needed strength and delight to keep us free and unaffected in the multitude of experiences, both pleasurable and painful, that we come across in this life. So prayer. Prayer is a sincere outpouring. We have found it in the second chapter, no? Then he said the prayer was heard, no? Children. Because he has been given, in the talks on the Gita book, Vinobaji says, first we try to understand Rama because of the noble qualities he symbolized, epitomized. But we should know that Ravana too is a manifestation of God. First we try to learn Rama. Why we go to all these things? We can take the alphabets, A to Z, for example. When we put these together, COMEIN, come in, very soothing. GETOUT, get out. It is not soothing. But letters by themselves are innocent. Hariyo. We cannot find fault with GETOUT. We cannot pat on COMEIN. They are all innocent letters. But when they join together, we have the first person about whom we have no idea, who has made us to develop this concept the moment this is uttered. Suppose you are not aware of English.
Today, how great this just now, I was the same thing you are talking now. Language is the criteria.
So the first person, just think about it, who conceived all these, apart from giving us A to Z, how he conceived that a combination of letters should express this sort of emotion in us, this sort of reaction in us, and that is being continued. We have not understood. Suppose when somebody says get out, we get angry, we get frustrated. Suppose as a spiritual aspirant, we will pause for a moment. It is the expression of his emotion, that's all. We will not find fault with the letters. Somebody has given, said, for this emotion, for this reaction, you have to utter this. Think about it. So the Papa here suggests not suggest. Papa heard it from him that why do you think them to be different from me? Identify all things with me. Then they will change. Then they will change their faces. Yes.
The man who ate 34 puris is also one version. We have to accept that him also as God.
Actually, when we start accepting these as such, ordained by him, ordained by him, ordained by him, ordained by him, we will always be, in a sense of equanimity, samatvam. We cannot. All these things, it's all academic. Unless and until we train our mind, we go through it and put ourselves in the process, it is very difficult. But at least now we have started understanding, In our personal life, he has made us to take stock of what exactly are within us. A combination of these. There is come in culture is also there, get out culture is also there. We have come to realize that. And we have come from him, so it can't be from any other source.
Is it Paripurnam?
What does it mean? What does it mean?
It's Samatvam in all aspects.
100%. I was trying to locate the 4 slogas. Because how do we attribute,
Yes.
Bijam mam sarvabhudanam Viddhi partha sanatanam. O Arjuna, know that I am the eternal seed of all beings. I am the intellect, the intelligent, and the splendor of the glorious. Gadi Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasa Sharanam Surad Prabhava Pralayasthanam Nidanam Bijam Avyayam. Beautiful. He says, I am the supreme goal of all living beings, and I am also their sustainer, master, witness, which were not known to us till then. Abode, shelter, and friend.
Yes.
I am the origin, end, resting place of creation. I am the repository and the eternal seed. Yachavi sarvabhudanam bijam tataham arjuna na tadasti vina yasyad maya bhudam characharam. I am the generating seed of all living beings. No creature, moving or non-moving, can exist without me. Sarvayonishu kaunteya Murtaya sambhavandiyaha Tasam Brahma Mahadyoni Aham Bija Pradapida. More clarity. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and I am the seed-giving father. Mamayunir Mahadbrahma Tasmin Garbham Dadamyaham Sambhava Sarvabhutanam Tato Bhavati Bharataha. My womb is the real Brahman. In it, I place the seed. From that, O Bharata, is the birth of all beings. When we go through these 4, intellectually we are convinced that he is the source of all sources. He means not an entity, subtle and mysterious power. When he is the source of all, even the so-called negative tendencies, which we call it as negative, they are also, their source can be anything different. But we feel it is different because we have not aligned ourselves totally with the source of all our sources. The moment we come to align ourselves with him, then no problem. This is the, now we can say, this is the cream of in quest of God. through this explanation, Papa is giving us this. Why do you still allow these things to be in the mind? Then God said, why do you think them to be different from me? Identify all things with me, then they will change their faces. They are not changing, they are changing their faces. Faces means we were naming it as bad, good, unproductive, uncreative, disastrous, calamitous, so many. So that the face gets changed. Identify all things with me, they will change it. Destruction is not possible. Transform them. Then Ramdas said, you are this, you are that, you are everything, you are everything. Then those things as such disappeared. That as such is very important.
Negative to positive.
We are trying to see the negative as positive, not as negative, only when we try to align ourselves with the source of all sources.
Sure.
Otherwise, it is not possible. We may be repeating it, but in our heart we have not aligned. To us, it is still a negative tendency.
For that moment, to be negative.
So we have to devise a method, how to keep up this. We have to devise a method by which this is constantly kept up. Toughest, because our baggage will not permit us to
Swami,
remember him.
It all boils down to one and only one thing, that at all times I should communicate with him.
At all times?
All the time. I should communicate.
Exactly. So we must keep on. The moment I forget you, I commit mistakes. And I make myself miserable and make everybody miserable. Distribute happiness in and around me. This I am thoroughly convinced, but enable me to live up to it. So in-depth study of Inquest of God clearly gives us this. He made us to think about the outpourings yesterday, If we had dealt with it previously, we would not have been able to understand. So he wanted us to develop and move, and at a particular stage when he reminds us, then we will be able to absorb it. Otherwise we will not be able to. This may mean another article, that's all. We will not be able to catch. But now, having traveled with him for the past so many months now, intensely, he is slowly giving us the right mental attitude for us to understand the meaning of these words. In spite of understanding, we may not change, agreed. Just like Puja Mataji said, that after reading 11 times, don't think that you may not attain Papa within you on the 11th reading. But you will at least have started going within. Going within means aligning ourselves with the source. So far, we kept ourselves separate. He has not come into our life in spite of hearing. Hearing for decades, chanting for decades, doing bhajan for decades, reading for his books for decades, or any Mahatma's books decades. Still he has not stepped into our life. Blunt truth. So here he says, It is intended to take you within. You may not attain Papa within you on the 11th reading, but you will at least have started going within. It is like entering the ashram gates. Once you are within the gates, you have nothing to fear. Once we have started going within, nothing to fear. Likewise, once you turn your gaze within, you have nothing to fear. So within means aligning ourselves with the source. Now, to be more clear, aligning, the words are now coming through the mouth, and a subtle effort is being made at the subconscious level to feel that it is he who is giving this. It is he who is facilitating these words to come. Where from it comes? These are not stored in our memory, but they come by themselves. So every time when the action takes place, if a simultaneously an effort is made to align ourselves with the source of all sources, probably we may be able to understand all these and move a little more further in our journey to become aware of him. Is this clear to everybody?
The more we learn, the more tough it is becoming.
The more we learn,
The more tough.
ignorance is bliss. No? Why all these things? We will carry on with our life, You are right.
From academic to spiritual.
From academic to spiritual.
So now the stage has come, we are deeply grateful to him. In spite of our indifference, in spite of our disinterestedness, in spite of our lack of seriousness, he has not kept us away.
To know nothing is real knowledge. To know nothing is real knowledge.
It's all academic, The moment we know that we don't know anything, then it is an experience. Then immediately the intellect will say, I know so many things. Immediately it will say that, including this knowledge. This phrase, somebody would have read, we would have memorized it. It will immediately come to that, no, I know this.
Quotes and unquotes.
We now remember during the Madras days when Swamiji was Puja Swamiji, Chinmayanandaji Maharaj was taking this Kanhangad. There is one shloka where the English translation, something with which we became restless, absolutely restless for 2-3 days, because he says, I do not know that I know it well. Not that I do not know, I know too. This is the explanation of a shloka in Kanhangad. Again, I will repeat. We have to write, otherwise we cannot. We have to write and see and travel with each and every word. I do not know that I know it well. I capital. Not that I do not know, I know too. Textual knowledge, or what do you call that we may be able to reproduce. But what exactly it conveys, it is purely at the experiential level. It cannot be conveyed. It can be conveyed only to some extent. I do not know that I know it well, because I have not experienced it. But at the same time, not that I do not know. It is because of that power only these things are coming. I know too. To reach that stage, from the superficial stage to go deeper. When Mataji says, when you repeat 11 times, when you read 11 times, And if the motive is very clear that it should help me to go within, then I will slowly start understanding everything in its real form. Now what I have imposed my own concepts on everything, and I am trying to interpret it through my own concept, not the real concept. So here an effort is made through these words, that constant effort on the part of all devotees and spiritual aspirants to align themselves with him, so that its face gets changed. That is what is meant in the Bhagavad Gita, Samatvam Yoga Muchate. Equanimity is yoga. Even-mindedness is yoga. Yoga means uniting with God. Now we can understand all these things. So I have not linked it to him. So today he has given a wonderful food for thought, and to make us know that you have to go beyond the thought to understand it. And now he gives us the feeling that this is the cream of the entire in quest of God. When we say we are in quest of God, not the text. The in quest of God will end only when this inner alignment takes place. So in order that we get more clarity on this, he has added the outpourings. All ordinary aspirants, sadhakas, they may get some glimpses of joy during their spiritual journey when they meet a spiritually evolved saint. They may get some ecstatic feeling when they go to a place of pilgrimage with the right mental background, but it is no guarantee. Again the old fellow will come and take over us. So Papa is giving us the final remedy for this, which God gave him, which he is passing on to us by writing this. Never label anything other than him. Whatever may be the label you have given, always hammer this. It is also his, it is also his, it is also his. The food you gave yesterday, when it went through the process which you have initiated, finally it comes out as stool, The food was kept on my table, but stool is not kept on a table. It has to be used in the toilet. Same food. We understand it now clearly. We cannot charge sheet anybody else, Yesterday's laddu, why should it be like this? We cannot. Now we understand all these things are his own making. Producing the food products through Mother Nature, pulses, fruits, vegetables, everything, And then he comes out in that form, and then he gives us he is the seed, he has given us a sense of individuality. He gives 200 odd organs for us, some organs to process this, and when after the eating is a process, digestion is a process, and afterwards, whatever that is not needed, it is converted not in the same form as we ate, but in a different form which we cannot in the normal course accept it openly. We go to the toilet, close the door and ease ourselves, It is not somebody's, it is mine. I slowly try to understand. Oh, you are behind everything. You are behind everything. Make me aware of this in all that I label. No. Like that, we try to understand everything, and the ultimate will be that the seeker, in quest of God, the seeker who started in quest of God, he becomes that which he is trying to become. That means aligning with the core of our being. And then come out of it, retain the sense of individualship, but a refined one. This is what Ramakrishna Paramahamsa named it as Pakka ego. It was a Kacha ego, now it is a Pakka ego. As long as we are embodied, it will be there, but it is refined ego. This ego is not detrimental to the interest of that individual as well as to the co-creations. It is just there to function as an individual.
For a peaceful life.
Papa is
for a peaceful life.
For a peaceful life. Oh, I think that will do today. Something very, very, very important. Let us see how he takes us tomorrow. Hari Om.
Swamiji,
Hari Om.
in our daily prayer in ashram, morning and evening, we say Sada Sarvada Yoga Tuja Asava. That we should keep on thinking in our mind.
We are chanting it for past 30, 40 years. But now at least slowly we are trying to open up. No? We have kept it ready. We have never opened the locker. No? Papa, Mataji gave us so many things. We have started keeping it in the locker. No? Universal prayer. But we have not opened it and used it. Now he slowly says, open it, man. I have given you long back. Start using it, not to keep it there. Okay then. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Hari Om, Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om plural. Pranam, pranam, pranam plural. Hari Om, Hari Om. Namaskaram, namaskaram.